Hey, welcome. So, you might think that you've read all the books, but Finish by John Acuff is actually a real game changer. And in this YouTube video, I'm gonna talk to you about the findings I had on this book. So, first of all, the book is divided into 8 or 9 chapters, and it starts by giving you a very good suggestion. Cut your goals in half. Why do you want to cut your goals in half? Because, well, most of the goals we try to accomplish, we actually don't realize them. We actually don't finish them. So you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 times a week. And on top of that, I'm going to do running. And on top of that, I am going to eat well. What's going to happen? Usually it's going to happen that you don't go to the gym and you miss one day and you give up on everything. You don't keep going to the gym, you don't eat well, you don't even do grocery shopping the way you were supposed to. And that's not what you really want as an outcome. So what do you prefer? Do you want to do a goal that can be achieved, or do you want to do or do you want to have something in your bucket list that you did not finish? So John says, well, just cut your goals in half, and if even half doesn't work, cut them in half again. At the end of each chapter, John also has a section with all sorts of actions that he suggests you to try for the book, with a series of questions, and he tries to do in the first chapter, he tries to do some retrospective. So the first one is to think back about the goals that you've attempted in the past. Were they too big? Why did you fail doing them? So some of the examples I made are about learning things, okay? So I want to learn a certain new programming language. I want to learn how to do something, and usually I give up on it. Why do I give up? Well, to be honest, most of the time, for me, this is my personal experience, it's because I had not enough patience to go and persist with the team, because the team was not perfect. So I should have redone it all the way from zero. That's what I was taking from. Another example of goals that I did not met is making YouTube videos. And one of the reasons that I'm restarting to make YouTube videos is because it's one of the goals I put on upon reading this book. The second chapter, actually the third chapter that John talks about is on choosing what to bomb. You cannot make everything. That's the idea. You could be cooking a nice meal for every day of the week, gourmet meals for every day of the week. The reality is you're probably gonna go to the takeaway shop and pick something. You have to defer things. You have to pick and choose what you want to do. You cannot do everything. So this is what John is saying is, well, pick and choose what are your goals. Pick and choose what you're going to do during the day. You only have so many hours in a day. And what can you do? You have to rest at night. You have to pick up your kids from school. You have to cook. You have to do the grocery shopping. You have to do also your daily work. You want to do your workouts, but you can't do everything. So you have to choose what to do, and you have to also choose what you are not going to do, and you have to be honest with yourself about this one. Also, if you want things to be done, you want to make it fun to get it done. So, why do you do things? So what is that motivates you in doing things? For example, let's say you want to lose some weight. If you're gonna lose some weight, the only way you're gonna lose weight, do exercise, if you have fun doing this. So is it for you fun to go for a run on the treadmill for half an hour in the gym, or is it more fun to have a walk with friends? Maybe running on the gym for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, run a marathon can sound like the best thing you can actually try to aim for, but maybe it's not fun. You're gonna do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, but you're not gonna stick to it. But what about if you go for a walk with your friends every night? Maybe it's not as intense. You're gonna be sweating enough, However, you are gonna enjoy it, and you're probably gonna stick to it. You're gonna socialize more, and that depends on who you are and what makes it fun for you to do the activity. So make the activities fun. Also, he talks about two kinds of motivations. One is called the fear motivation, and the other one is called the reward motivation. The fear motivation is when you fear that you're not able enough to do something. So I give an example. Often I apply to job, and I'm gonna go for job interviews, just because to pass that job interview I have to know certain things, and the deadline of the job interview is actually gonna give me the motivation to go ahead and do it. The second thing is the reward motivation. Some people instead can be motivated by some rewards. For example, one can be getting pride of something, or being recognized in your workplace, being recognized at home, being recognized among your friends. For me, as an example, my reward motivation is to see things to pile up, to stack things that I got done, like a trophy, and to hear my partner to praise me because I've done a good job at something. Then there is a whole section about actually 2 chapters that I found really profound. However, in my opinion, a little bit unpractical, because unless you are an experienced psychologist or you go through therapy and you try to identify things, doing them by yourself might be a little bit hard, and which is one of the reasons I usually do not read self-help books. So he's talking about the hiding place and the noble obstacle. What are the hiding places? Hiding places is a place where we go, most of the time virtually, because we get bored of what we are doing. For example, for me, it can be to go on Facebook or on Instagram and start scrolling when I should really be doing something else. Another example is that I'm a perfectionist. So let's say my partner tells me, well, maybe we should clean up the house a little bit. I start doing something, and such as vacuuming the floor, for example. And then I realize that maybe I should first organize the bench and dust the bench. And the next thing I know is that I'm basically organizing the drawers, putting labels and everything, rather than doing the cleaning task that I was supposed to do. So for me, organizing things, putting things away, it is a kind of a hiding place. And then the second subject that John talks about is the noble obstacle. And the noble obstacle is the idea that an activity has to be in line with our final goal. But what really happens is that such idea doesn't actually add value to go towards such a goal. Okay, so in my case, the noble obstacle would be, let's say in the example of the cleaning, often what I try to do, I find an item I'm not using anymore, maybe it's not so bad, but I start taking photos and posting it on Facebook Marketplace. When what I should really do, I'll either leave the item there, maybe I'm gonna use it in the future, or maybe just throw it away if it's not useful anymore, maybe give it to a friend or to a charity of some kind. But then that's a noble obstacle, because every time I find a problem that has to be solved, imagine how long it's going to take to put something on Marketplace. You're going to put on Marketplace, somebody's going to answer, and say, oh, do you want to sell it, for how much, and that don't show up at the door. I mean, it's a huge waste of time, when actually what we wanted to do was simply to clean the house. We wasted a whole lot of time without getting anything done. The second part that I was referring to was a little bit harder to figure out by yourself, and are about secret roles. So the secret roles are the things we tell ourselves that really we need a psychologist to get rid of them, at least in my case, maybe not in yours. in my opinion, if it was as easy as in the book, so this is something I didn't really like about the book, I guess there will not the need of hiring psychologists. Yeah, that's the point, because a secret rule is something that you keep on doing, although that it's hard to understand that you actually have the secret rule that you maybe learned as a kid. Maybe observing your parents, maybe observing your friends, maybe thinking about reality not in the way that such reality is. And he suggests some steps to figure out whether or not those secret rules apply. And for example, who says, what does that mean? In my case, for example, is the fact that I could be offensive for somebody. Alright? No, that doesn't mean I actually am. I just think that I could be. So I usually do not say to people what I really think about them, which is a good thing most of the time. Okay, let me tell you that. But at the same time, it kind of limits me. Now, is it something I can handle through, following a few steps on a self-help book? Maybe not. Maybe I need help from somebody. Then the section that I really liked about the book is to use data to celebrate your progress. It's a chapter where John, he talks about using data. Okay, and using data is that data, it's here to celebrate, to help, to move us forward from past experiences. And gathering data is about what we are trying to accomplish and makes things work out for us. So really understanding how long things are gonna take. If you're gonna try to lose weight, try to understand your book diary. If you think that it's impossible to do something because it's undoable and practical, maybe you shouldn't really try to be too harsh on yourself. Try to use data. Try to understand why something worked in the past and why it's not working now. Are you doing exactly the same things? Did you look at the wrong data or not? And this really resonated with me, because I'm a person that is I really pay attention to data, and I try to capture as much data as I can in order to guide my decisions. The last section of the book talks about the day before done. The day before done, you've done it. For example, right now I'm making this video, I'm recording myself, I'm about to put it on YouTube, and yet I might not be happy with the result. I might just give it up. I might fear that what I'm doing, it's not enough, it's not perfect enough, I did not pronounce things correctly, and whatnot. Well, maybe let's not be afraid, let's try to go, because doubts about what we've done and our perfect self is trying to tell us not to do this, because you are not gonna do this correctly. So that is my take on the book Finish by Jon Acuff. Make sure to finish it, to read it all, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.